Hey everyone, it's Elwood. So I'm gonna do my deck profile on my Great Nature deck that I brought with me at the European Continental. So I decided to take this deck because I didn't think the Cat Butler Razor deck was as good as before, now that the G-Guardians are active. And yeah, I think this deck has a really good early game, mid game and late game. I mean, the way I build the deck with a really good early game, it's really strong, and I was confident with that. And with the angel feathers all around, I was thinking that I needed something that could rush, and this deck does. So yeah, this deck was perfect. So yeah, let's go straight ahead with the deck. So I played 4 Great Freeze, only 4 Great Freeze. I played 2 Chat Noir and 2 Taskmaster. The one you want to ride obviously is Chat Noir. The reason for that is that you want to break ride with Babar, so with Taskmaster, and Chat Noir has a really good stride. And what I like is it's a really good first stride. Decks that have a good first stride are really good to rush. If they can rush and have a really good first stride, then in my opinion it's a really good deck. For example, I'm thinking about 7 Seas, where you can go into Night Mist right away, but most of the time you'll do Obaida, but this deck is like really good when you can, because you will have a first stride most of the time, and your stride is as deadly as your rush. Only 4 Great Freeze. Having less Great Freeze makes you have less Great Freeze in your starting hand. First, making you have more Great 2s or Great 1s to rush and make card advantage. The fact that that I run 2 Chat Noir and not like a Japanese build that was playing 2 Babar, 1 Chat Noir and 1 Big Belly was because if I G-assist, I have more chances of having a Chat Noir than to have a Big Belly or a Babar, so I decided I would play 2 Chat Noir, and I can go also break ride into break ride sometimes. So yeah, I think it was the right move. So yeah, 4 Great Freeze. Then, very important in my version, 4 Binocular Tiger and 4 Compass Lion. So the reason for that is that I want to destroy something in early game, because my starter isn't Telescope Rabbit, it's another starter. I really wanted some cards to destroy in early game without the GB restriction. So as soon as you ride Great 2, you have the ability to destroy something. So it can trigger your duckbills and your overcut effects. And Binocular gives you the ability to rush a little bit more. And Compass Lion, when you ride into him, you can't get rushed too, because he's an 11k. So they're really good Great 2s. Even though there is like better, for example, I'm thinking of a penguin, set square penguin, and some other Great 2s that make some card advantage. Those can be used as soon as the early game starts, as soon as you ride into them. Binocular is really important instead of what's his name? The Great 2s that has the same effect but has Sleeping Tapir. It's very important to have Binoculus Tiger. If you don't have them, then go ahead with some Sleeping Tapir. But the fact that he works on Vanguard, so that if you have only 1 Great 2, so that it's him or him, it doesn't matter, you can still destroy something. So it's very important to have a Binocular Tiger. And the fact that he's on Vanguard, he can be attacked. I mean, he can be attacked, but he won't die. And if you stay on Great 2, then you can spam a bit. You can spam his effect to maybe rush more, and sometimes you'll win in Great 2. It's very rare, but it's possible. So yeah, 8 Great 2s that can destroy something in early game, and then best Great 2 of Great Nature. 4 crayon tiger. He withstands, he gives 4k, he makes draw. He's really one of the key cards of the deck. He's your late game. Him alone is your late game, so it's really a good card. So let's make 12 grade 2. And now for the grade 1s, 17 of them. So mikesaburo, so his skill is when he's cold, you can target one of your rear guard, and when he dies you get to add a grade 3. This is not GB restricted, and that is why you need a lot of grade 2s to destroy a rear guard, so that you can search your grade 3. And that's why that even with such a low grade 3 account, you can have a lot of times your grade 3 and even stride with another grade 3. It's because mikesaburo exists. It's a +1. I mean, he says that when something dies, you add a grade 3. So the fact that something dies, okay, maybe it makes like a 0, but if you have 2 of them and you do it on the same rear guard, then you will get to add 2 grade 3s and lose 1 rear guard, so that then it's a +1. For duckbills, he's well known. If something dies, you draw a card. 4 of it, it's not GB restricted. In early game, you want to have as many as duckbills and mikesaburo as possible, plus a grade 2 that pops something. So yeah, you have to maximize the number of it. Yeah, nothing to say. You can't play the deck without them, in my opinion. Then 1 tapping cath. It's the little grade 1s that varies and that I play only in 1. For the fact, and what I like about it is that as soon as you write grade 2, I have the ability to make Surplus 2 draw 1, because I will have my grade 1, my grade 2, and I can call, for example, something that I want to destroy. So for example, I call crayon that I will destroy. Then I use the skill of my starter to target him. My starter skill, the parrot, it's like a duckbill. You put him in soul and you target something, and if it dies, you can draw 1 card. It doesn't kill. It's if this rare guard dies, I draw 1. So you have, as soon as you write grade 2, you have the ability to have the instant +1 with tapping cath that will maybe give you another +1 with duckbill or mikesaburo. So yeah, the tapping cath, 1 copy is fine because you can't use 2 times his effect, and yeah, 1 is enough. I mean, it's because I had room, and I thought it was better to have a tapping cath than 5th grade 3. So yeah, it's really good. And even for it could be a 5th grade 3. Maybe this thing, the +1 that he gives you will give you the grade 3. Maybe you will draw it, and so you'll be good. So the tapping cath, and yeah, I explained the starter. Then even for we are running only 4 grade 3s, we have to run 4 striders to compensate that. So yeah, 4 striders. Yeah, you have to play them. And then 4 perfect guard Gs. You will see B a lot in this deck. The counter blast are like going really fast in this deck, so it's really important. You don't have a lot of rear guard to defend. There is only crayon tiger, so it can be problematic, but I'll show you. But I have dizmel, so to protect crayon you have dizmel, and most of the time if a game is going normally, then you had the opportunity to draw into another crayon, so you don't really care on the one on the field. So yeah, 4 perfect guard Gs. In early game, don't hesitate to ride the strider or a perfect guard just to keep a mikesaburo or a duckbill. Early game advantage is really important, and this deck draws so much that you will get into your other 3 perfect guard, or if you don't, you will get into a G Guardian at least, so you really don't have a problem into riding a grade 1. So then for my starter, you've understood. He's the one, he makes me draw instantly, so maybe he's making me go further into the deck, so maybe having my my grade 3 or my crayon for the turn when I'm going to stride. So yeah, really good starter. And he's useful right away, so that he can't be popped by an opponent's Gatling Claw. Gatling Claw from Kagero. So yeah, it's really important in that aspect. So yeah. Then trigger lineup. We're an aggressive deck, 12 crit. We're restanding rearguard. We want to crit on the rearguard that is going to restand. So 12 crits and 4 heals, obviously, because heals are heals and she guardians and everything. So yeah, 12 crits. Don't run draws in this version because this version has early game, so you don't need the draws. And when you draw by card effects, for example, at the end phase, when you draw 3-4 cards, if you draw a trigger, you'll be happier if you draw a 10k shield than a 5k shield from a draw. So yeah. And we don't need soul from the Castanet Donkey, so yeah, 12 crit. And you can run, I'm running the Chameleon because he's also good in early game. If he dies, he adds himself back from the deck. So okay, you're reducing the number of critical and triggers in your deck, but it's maybe the 10k that will defend the damage that you need, or that will be able to defend the Crayon Tiger, or even for a grade 2 sometimes, so that you can keep pushing and rushing your opponent. So yeah, he's really important. The CB is what makes the card like not as good, but it's needed. I mean, if it was adding himself for no cost, it would be insane. So yeah, for Chameleon Tiger, Chameleon Ruler Chameleon. Then for strides, for the latest stride from the Fighter Collection 3. So I'll call him the Fox. So his skill is, after he attacked, you can Soul Blast 1, give 4k to a rearguard and not kill him. But if you want, you can give him an additional 4k, so you give him 8k. And if after you give him 8k, if his power is 20,000 or more, you can draw a card. So even most of the time you will be able to draw a card. I mean, for example, even if it's on a grade 1, you don't really care. If it's on for example, most of your grade 1s are 7k, you give him 8k, so it's 15, and you only needed a trigger to make him 20k. So it's really easy. So yeah, one trigger on 3 draft checks, I think it's fair. So yeah, and even though you don't draw, if you can still give him 8k, it's 8k your opponent will take 2 times if you have something that can withstand him. So yeah, the 8k are really important. And what I like about him is that he doesn't cost any counterblast. So yeah, and the soul is really not important. You only have your tapping cat, but most of the time you'll have your in soul you will have your starter, your grade 1, your grade 2, and then you have your grade 3, but you will have 3 in soul. So then you imagine you have a tapping cat, so yeah, you still have you only have one soul left, so and you have the soul left for one of him, and maybe you will barricade after it, so you will have another card in soul, so you'll be good. So yeah, 2 is enough. I mean, most of the time I use only 1, but in end game, like if my opponent really survived well, maybe he's playing Angel Feathers or something like that, then if I don't have any more counterblast, then he's good. Then the ace, Chat Noir. So his skill is, he has the same skill of Chat Noir basically as the Break Ride, but you have to counterblast. So each time a rearguard attacks, you can counterblast 1 and give 4k to a rearguard, to the one that's attacking if you want, or to another one, it doesn't matter. And he will die at the end of the turn and you will draw a card. But you can stack this card. So for example, a really good turn is if you have a Chat Noir, you're striding, you have a crayon, for example, you'll have that, yeah, and I don't know, anything that can withstand, and 4 counterblast. That's why when you will have a first ride you want 4 counterblast. It's because you will be able to do 26. Remember to attack first with the Vanguard because you will have the ability to put all the triggers on the rearguard that can stand up. So for example, if you were lucky, you rushed fairly good so he's at 3-4 damage. He will perfect guard this, and you will, so imagine he's at 4 damage. He will perfect guard this, and you will have 1 crit, for example, and nothing else. You can put the crit here, so that he will have to defend this 2 times, because he can't take it. So, for example, you have 1 crit, so it's 12. Then he attacks for 12, so you activate Chat Noir skill. You counterblast 1, so it's 16. So it will be multiple of 4k. So yeah, he attacks for 16, crit you. Then I don't really care, like, okay, it's a PG, but you can, most of the time you will have a duckbill or a mikesaburo that was left from previous turn. So 16 or here 15. You stand him for a counterblast. Then you can use Chat Noir skill, use another counterblast, so you can repump this guy. So, and then you can attack again, reuse Chat Noir, so that's why you need 4 counterblasts to use the whole combo. And he will gain 16k total in total, so that will be a 28k crit 2 if we're still on the trigger. So yeah, 28, no, what am I saying? Yeah, 20k crit 2 with a simple grade 1. And the best part about it is you will draw 4 cards when he dies, because 1 from crayon and 3 from Chat Noir. So you will draw 4 new cards. So maybe some hair triggers that will give you the ability to enflip with the G Guardians, or maybe some perfect guard Gs. So yeah, it's really those big turns, and you can do it in first right. So that's why I really love this deck. You have the ability to rush in grade 2. As soon as you stride, you can rush again. And sometimes your opponent will die just by this turn, so that's really good. Then, 2 managramr. So, I never used it in playtesting. Maybe from the start I played this version of the deck, I used him once, but the fact that he costs a CB and that he's not as aggressive as the other cards makes him less important. And with the arrival of G Guardians, he's not as good, but sometimes you still need him just in case. If your opponent only has perfect guards, if it's a Kagro, sometimes they will be searching for a lot of perfect guards with the Conroe starter if they're playing it in the main deck, or with the legends. So yeah, sometimes if they have too much perfect guards, then you will be happy to have a managramr. Then 1 Phoenix. He doesn't cost any CB, he doesn't cost any soul. Okay, it's a -2, but at least it's CB free, so I still play 1. And when you're on Barbar, if you don't want to go into the Fox, then he's a good alternative. Then one strike from the first fighter collection. Only 1 because he needs to hit. But when he hits, you can give 4k to a rear guard, and when this rear guard attacks the Vanguard and it has 20k or more, you will draw a card. You won't have to hit this time. So, for example, if you attack, and the rear guard you have will have 20k, he can attack at 20k, you draw 1. When you attack with a crayon tiger, you restand this guy, you re-attack at 24, you will draw 2 cards. So basically, if he hits, it can be draw 2. If this guy hits, draw 2 cards. So it's still a really good card in this aspect. So yeah, just 1. 1 is fine. You don't need more. 1 sebreeze. I went into him 1 time in the championship. We have room in the extra deck, so why not? Sometimes you will have 3 CBs free when your opponent is going to misride, so you can use 2 CBs for him, stride, put all the triggers on this line, and restand it with crayon or Taskmaster, so that you're doing an insane turn, even though your opponent is at grade 2. So yeah, nothing to say. 1 blizza. Against Link Joker or Kagero, sometimes you want to have the power of your rear guard, as it's your bad matchups, and because we have rooms in the extra, Blizza is maybe the thing, the strike that's going to kill them, and you run 12 crits, so you have to capitalize on that. Sometimes they will be at 3, you have a big Blizza, they say no guard, you double crit them, you win. So yeah, sometimes you can be lucky with that. Now G Guardians. 3 of the latest G Guardians from the Fighter collection. It's one of the best G Guardians from the Fighter collection. Now you have G Guardians from Kagero, from Gears, from Angel Fevers, and some others are going to be out and that are better than him. But really, he's a 20k. If you have a rear guard, so 20k, and if you have a rear guard, the condition is really not that hard. And you kill the rear guard at the end of your opponent's turn, and you will unflip a damage. And in this version of the deck, unflipping is really what I like, and it's really important because you will have use maybe your 4 counterblast for the turn I showed you, and then you will need maybe some others for Crayon Tigers or for Tuskmaster. So yeah, he's really important. You could run 4, but there was once in playtesting where I wanted the 4th one, but in the Continental I didn't need him. So yeah, 3 is enough. Then, as I said, 1 dizmel. There's only one thing you want to defend. It's Crayon Tiger. So it's here for that purpose. If you don't have a crayon in your hand to replace the other one. And in case there are some Dimension Police that attacks a rear guard, he's still good. And then 1 screw. I don't have a lot of grade 3s, but sometimes I will have to discard a grade 3 because I went all in to attack and have another grade 3, but then my opponent sees that he has to go all in to kill me, and sometimes then I will have a grade 3. But also, if you're against some guard restrict, it can be problematic. So for example, if you're against Nouvelle Vague L'Express from Kagero, he will be useful, and yeah, you have to think about that. He's also useful against guard restrict, so yeah, and maybe if you don't have a rear guard, he will be the 5k that you need, so yeah, 1 screw. So yeah, the deck list is finished. So some other combos that you can do is after you made your big turn with 4 counterblast, what you want to do is the best turn you can do is do your strike turn, or you don't really care about what you have. Have then 2 CBs left. So for example, you are at 5 and you have 2 CBs left. It's perfect because the aim is then to break ride into Tuskmaster, so that you have the same effect of Chat Noir as the stride, but just like CB free, so it's really good. So then the best also is to have Binoculus Tiger and another grade 1, because when he attacks, so in this case you will attack with this effect from Chat Noir, give him 4k. He attacks at 13 on your opponent's Vanguard. Then skill from Binoculus Tiger, you give 4k to duckbill. Then you attack with Tuskmaster. Skill, you counterblast 1, stun him, give him another 4k. You put all the triggers here. So if you're lucky, you will draft check only 1, but if you're lucky, you have 1 crit. But we run 12, that's why we need to run 12 crit, because if something that you stand a lot has a crit, it's really insane. So imagine we have a crit, then he attacks again, so skill from Chat Noir on him, and skill from Binoculus, you raise that duckbill again. So he's already at 21, 26k crit 2, 26 crit 2, so that's already like a decent number, I would say. Then you go with Crayon Tiger, skill from Crayon, you use a counterblast, stun him, give him 4k, skill from Chat Noir, that's still active, 4k here. So that's 16 on the Vanguard, so that's the attack that most of the time they will take, because it doesn't have any crit, but also because it's the... But if you don't have the crit on that, then they will defend that because this is a too big column. Then you will attack again, give him another 4k, another skill from Chat Noir again, so that will be 6. So that will be 9, 7, 16, plus 5, 21, 21 and 9 times 4, that is 36, so that will be a 57 crit 2 column. So that's actually the best you can do. Of course, if you have more triggers, then it goes higher. But this turn is really like the finishing turns that you want to do. So yeah, that's it for the combos. So my matchup overall, I played Gear Chronicle in first round. I lost to him. I G-assisted my Great Chew. I had like a perfect hand with really good grade ones. Like I think I had like maybe 2 duckbills, 1 mikesaburo, or 2 mikesaburo, like something like that. So I was really confident if I had a Great Chew to destroy something, but I didn't. So when I G-assisted, I had Crayon Tiger, and even if I could ride Crayon Tiger and take him, I wouldn't have a Great 3. So the problem would be kind of the same. So I was like, I'm not going to take Crayon on the G-assist, and on the next G-assist, I'm going to take, I hope I will have a Great 2 that destroys. So yeah, luckily when I attack with my grade 1s, I draft checked binocular tiger, so I had something to destroy, so I could do I could play kind of normally how I want the deck. But the fact that he saw my hand when I G-assisted for Crayon, even though I didn't take him, he saw my hand, so he rushed me. I had to take some damage to have like some card advantage card like duckbills and mikesaburos. So he rushed me fine. And when I arrived at grade 3, I had the opportunity to do my big turn with the 4 CBs and everything. But the thing was that when I just before I do my big turn with my Chat Noir Stride, I was at 5 damage. So even though I went to 11 cards in hand, after that he had 5 damage, and he was playing a TikTok version, and so he just made like 9 or 10 attacks, something like that. So he destroyed me. Even though I had 11 cards in hand, I couldn't take any attacks. So yeah, I lost this way. Then I had, oh yeah, an Angel Favor. Sorry for you, mate. But he had a bad start. He didn't have his Gavra because he was playing the Gavra version, and he didn't have his grade 3. So yeah, I just rushed and I killed him. Then third round, we fell on some other French mate, so it was a bit sad. But so I was facing the Mega Colony player from Team Rocket, and even though you could think you have a bad matchup because you run only 4 grade 3s, the fact is that the deck is really too fast. And even for example, you stride first, then you do a big turn. He's already like used most of his hand. He's already at 4. He will paralyze your grade 3, and then you just go on with your break ride and you just kill him from there. Because even if he paralyzed you, you don't really care, because you would have ridden like even if he wouldn't be paralyzed, and you will kill. I killed him, I think, from there or just after. But I knew that I had a broken I had a broken hand, so nothing he could really do. We made some other games right after them. Right after it, the second one, it was kind of the same. I didn't have like another broken hand, but it was a good hand. And the third one, he managed to win. And then fourth game, I played against some of my teammates. Another team that's called Mastercard. So they are friends from Le Havre, so where I live. So I fell on Nordin. He's the Kagero player. He was playing the Legend. And just a bit like when I didn't have my grade 2 and I draft checked it, when I was grade 2 and he began, so he had his grade 2. He just assisted for grade 3. He didn't have it, but when he draft checked with his grade 2, then he had the Legend. No, he had the grade. So it was still a grade 3, or if he had the Legend, I don't remember, but he had a grade 3. But that meant that I could rush him another time. And even though he didn't lost, of course, and that in the late game he could have G-Guardians that could really disrupt my restanding and combo plays. I remember that at that one time, because I saw his stand when he G-assisted, he didn't have a perfect guard, so he had to let it go. I don't remember if he was at 5 or if he was at 4 and that I draft checked a crit, but I remember I won because I had a broken hand too. But even though I had a broken hand, he rushed me, so I had to defend with a tapping cath, I remember, and maybe another duckbill, but I had to defend with the cards that were making some card advantage, because otherwise I would be at 3 and it was a bit too dangerous. So yeah. So personal score, I was 3-1, and our team went 3-1 in the rounds, but sadly our goal average wasn't as good, so we ended up 5th place and we missed the top 4. So yeah, it's a bit sad for us, a bit disappointing, but I'm still like to compensate that. In my head I went 3-1, and the way I lost the first one was not so bad. I mean, he didn't destroy me, but I could have had a better hand. So yeah, I'm confident in this build, and yeah, how I went over there. So yeah. So guys, thanks for having seen this deck profile, and we'll see you next time.